I want to listen to it. Might take my 174 episodes, but as a patriot and a lover of Trinidad and Tobago, I've found the new official opening for the Corey Shepherd podcast.
Share every creed and race, find an equal place. And may God bless all nations.
Yes, Cheryl. I'm telling ya. I'm telling you. I party until it red, nah, nah, nah. I dressing up in my red, white, and black. I don't care what nobody say. Every carnival I done day. Plus I know all artists and only mass bands. Them say I'm a man. I'm telling you where I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. As a Trini, Popo Trini, I'm Trini. Cause I love how Cheryl does sing. And they like how Trini does cook. And they like to get Trini talk. And they like Trini woman walk. And we make good company. Wait, welcome to episode 174 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the new listeners. Glad to have you on board. Listen, salute to Nicholas. Well, Nicholas named Newvan, if you wasn't following, right? Nicholas Newvan is a youth in, I want to say, is New York, yeah? And the man went viral a couple times for a few videos interviewing some Trinis on the streets. You're supposed to know it, right? That went viral among all age groups. And one of the people he interviewed was the now famous and infamous Mama Juice. Mama Juice, make him famous with your juices and say, well, this is to bring you back. This is for if you're sick, drink a ginger and things. Selling a juice on the street and things, Trini, we're going to find a way to make it happen how they whether we, you know what I mean? We're going to figure it out, right? And Nicholas, after going, I suppose as a vlogger, Instagrammer, you're trying to grow your page all the time, and he hit a lick with this one, so he decided he come into Trinidad, and he fly Mama Juice to Trinidad. Salute to Nicholas for that. Mama Juice come down and carry him straight in the heart of Maloney to eat something good and drink something good. I know no, you had to take on Nicholas' page, right? Find him on Instagram. It's Nicholas Newvan. Newvan is Nuvan, right? If you don't know, go and find him, and you'll see all his interviews, the ones in Brooklyn or in New York, as well as the ones here. And the man find the funniest of the people to interview in Trinidad on Promenade, downtown. He learned a lot about Trinidad. Some people was very raw. Some people was entertaining. He find out what the man was a boxer or something. The most random people as Trinidad known for having, random people and random conversations. We're good at that. But I don't like how people try to badmine my girl Cheryl, man. Cheryl says she could sing. She born so. Let them know. He asked Cheryl, where you learn to sing like that? She said, born so. That's a new lick. That's a new language. New slang for 2024. Born so. So salute to Nicholas. Check that out, right? I had to bring all you up to speed with what happened in me, because the past few episodes, salute my boy Captain Biddy, right? Biddy told me the other day, he said, boy, you used to talk about all kind of things. You used to talk about sports, current affairs, the politics. He said, no, all we get is culture. Well, it was carnival. We had to take it far down the culture lane. So I had to make sure that I know what happened, because part of my problem now is I don't even know what's going on in the news now. I tell you, all the things get bad with me. Somewhere along the line, I realized that turning on the TV or listening to the radio in the morning is a problem for my productivity, right? It's a problem for my if I put on Morning Edition or put on Blaze and them on a morning or Dale and Tony, I stuck in front of that TV or by that radio until 9 o'clock. I still a little old school, and my day again started till 9 every day. So I abandoned that, but I realized that it make me a lot of touch. Plus, I had a lot going on in life. A long time I didn't talk to all about just life. I feel like we spend the whole time talking about carnival and competition and all them things. Long time I ain't talked to all you. I had a lot of issues in this life. I want to listen to us go through a lot. when men in the comments running to tell you about 1%er business and 1%er, let me tell you what was happening to me last week, right? I went and played some football. Normal thing, you know what I mean? You're taking a little Sunday evening sweat, everything nice. I don't regret him playing no mass and things. So thank God all the fetters and the go-getters of the carnival season come back out to play a little football. After the sweat, a couple beers come out because salute my boy Clint. Me and Clint had a birthday around the same time, so we do a little celebrating and drink some beers. Salute to Clint and Lana. They set up a nice spread. We drink something nice. Then I get a call from the musical director, Paula Stacy. She say, listen, half the lights start to blink and then half the lights in the house gone. I want to carry a little earlier back in the year, right, when I was only talking about carnival thing. That happened somewhere in January, which is the hardest of banger seasons, because as much as people like this over 1%, I aspire to be the 1%, but I'm not. So January is a rough month and a long month and a month of, what is called 7 years of famine happening in January. And I had to spend a good piece of money because my current went. And I had to get T&Tec to come. I had to redo what you call it, electrical certificate or the inspection or whatever it is. I had to go and pay T&Tec a reconnection fee because the fellas come and they take my meter because they had some kind of problem by the meter box, which is say once it passed the meter, it's not the issue. So apparently it has something named the guts behind the meter, and that was shorting out of me. I can't explain that thing. I couldn't help you. Well, best believe after I spent that raise in mid-January, just last week, Stacey called me and told me the same thing happening home. So it's under pressure now on a Sunday night. And my bad experience is that the last time the electrician tell me, should I say this? The electrician say, don't call T&Tec. We go racket this thing, right? We go we go figure it out. They go do what them this do to sort this thing out. And in my little coward self who afraid problems, I call T&Tec and T&Tec go on with my meter. It take 3 days for me to get back current in the house, right? And lo and behold, the same exact thing come and happen this week now. The half that had current last time, that's in our current this time. So just the house flip on the next side. And you know the half of the Wi-Fi gone. I don't mind, but listen, the fridge, if once you give me the fridge and the Wi-Fi, I realize I could survive without current. You know, me and Zachary camp it and, you know what I mean? We make it happen last time. We had a few days without current. Well, it turns out something else was wrong behind the meter after the men fixed it the last time. But in fine style, I have a neighbor, and certain thing you just say, don't call his name, right? You go back and figure out who's run. But I want to salute to my neighbor, Jade, who called me. He said, he's a fellow who is fixed things. You know, it has some people who have a partner uncle like that, Uncle Porgy. He's a man, any little problem you have, Porgy, just say, don't hesitate to call me. He finding a way to fix it and to make it happen, right? And I salute Pablo too. Pablo is a man like that, right? But Jade is my new partner like that. So when I reach him and I realize I had the problem, I call my electrician. He say, you come in the morning. Jade called me. He say, boy, I have an electrician, you know. You want me to call him now? No, I'm in a spot, right? I'm feeling kind of bad because I don't tell my electrician come in the morning. And Jade now telling me he have an electrician that could come now. I'm feeling away. But I really want the electrician come now. You understand? Within about a half hour, the electrician pull up and think he watched the situation. He tell me, he say, boy, the problem is definitely in that meter box. He tell me, call T&Tec. Now, I have bad experience. I frightened like hell. I tell two of them, I say, hey, I don't want to call T&Tec, you know, because last time T&Tec went with my meter. I can't afford for everything in my fridge to spoil and them kind of thing. Because now, all right, son, have a good day. Yeah, now the fridge and thing ain't working if they pull that meter and no hope. So, boy, despite my best thoughts and my best beliefs and my better judgment, the men say call the meter. And now I studying my electrician now, because when they take that meter and my electrician find out that the next morning, he go fire me as a client. He go say, boy, you don't listen. Don't call me back. Go whoever it is called to do your thing, you call them and fight up with that. So despite all my better judgment, I called T&Tec. T&Tec come. Salute to the electrician, Mr. Cyrus. Mr. Cyrus was right there. He explained everything to me. Nice fella, nice guy. We stand up there talking to a while. Turn out Mr. Cyrus is 77 years old. Mr. Cyrus looking good, you know. He have a ounce of fat in him. The man looking good. 77, man. He come in and do electrical work that over the night. I talk about 9, 10 o'clock Sunday night. Well, T&Tec eventually come. T&Tec take about a half hour, 45 minutes, and when they reach, a little bit of back and forth between them and T&Tec, because T&Tec was first songing like, hey, we ain't leaving this meter here, you know. But everything work out, everything get fixed. Salute to Jade. Jade had all the tools in the world. Listen, Jade going to have a hardware soon named Jade Mohan Singh Hardware, right? So they will support it, right? But that's on the way. But I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere with this, right? I'm telling you all this for a reason. Look how my life this line up, right? When Biddy tell me I'm talking too much about the culture, let me tell you how things this follow me. After the thing, I so glad lights come back on in the house. Stacy's smiling again. Everybody happy. People is cool. Nobody is sweating and all these things. Mr. Cyrus sit down now and we started talk little old talk. Now, in the midst of waiting for T&Tec, he used to tell me about stories of young days. He said when he was a young fella, he was in YTC and he ended up in all kind of little, you know how it just go. And he say a word that triggers something in me, right? He say, the police pull him up and they carry him in a Maria and they carry him down to the thing. Now, when I only know that word from a Zandoli calypso, right? Zandoli have a song named Iron Man. And it have a line that say, so they take me and they throw me in the Maria and carry me to the female commissioner. And if you see me, 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 men police came searching. And before I could put on my clothes, all my iron exposed. So I hear the word Maria for the first time outside of that song. Now, Maria, Google Maria, right? It's just a police van back in the day, right? So when I hear that, I say, but it's so strange that he would use the word Maria. And then somewhere in the midst of the conversation, I tell him, boy, Zachary something, and he hear my son is Zachary. He say, who's your son, Zachary Ransom? I say, no, but how you know Zachary Ransom? That can't be random. If you don't know, Zachary Ransom is the reigning junior monarch and might be there for some time. I think he win a few of them junior monarch. Don't quote me, but I think he win a good bit. And he's clearly going to be one of the stars in Kaiso, Calypso, and Soca of the future, right? So when he said that, I said, but this man no little thing, boy. He into the culture, he know Kaiso or something. So with any happiness again, my lights back on. We pull to Rubbermaid chair now in front of the gate. We pull to Eldorado in front of the gate. And we started, you know how rum this bring talk? So we started sipping. He started telling me something now about he was in spectacular tents and he was thing. I said, wait. You're singing in the tent? He said, yeah, he tried to get in the tent. And he said the backstage of the tent is a cutthroat place. It's not a nice place, you know what I mean? It's dog in the backstage of the tent. And he said he went up on the tent. He finally get through because he writes song for several Calypsonians. When he get the opportunity to perform one of the songs or one of the songs that was his and he went up on stage, he said after he performed the whole song, men tell him, when he come off this stage, men now explaining to him that spectacular is an encore tent. In other words, you had to have some extra verse below onto your thing. So if you have 4 verses, you need to write 2 extra for when you get your encore. Or if you only have 4 verses, you need to sing 3 and hold back the one for your encore to come back on, right? Because if you ain't getting no encore and you sing and you walk off, your chances are getting booked for the tent in the long run low. And he was using that as an example to say how cutthroat the industry is. He said he and these fellas is partner. He said Bali is his partner. He said them as men, his friends you're talking about. And they still leave him to suffer in the mix there, you know what I mean? They still leave him. So it just goes to show you how some of these things just follow me. So within the mix of the thing, he started telling me he's right song. I said, well, give me a song it is right now. He said, well, it has no music. I said, well, why you want guitar? He said, bring a quattro. And he's saying, bring a quattro, joking, eh? Salute Jade and Macasey live with me there. He's saying bring a quattro in jest. I say, well, all right. When you bring the quattro now. That man started to run through some tune where he write, boy. Nice tune, nice double entendre and thing. Listen, I wish some of it was recorded. I will get to the point where I started to record my real life like Nicholas Nuvan and these fellas, right? Where I just walking around with a camera and recorded because I want to feel I'm making thing up. Because the man sing about 5 tune. Good tune. Where he sing in the tent and the songs we come up with. But I want to play for you one of the songs that this man writes. And I want to go flashback to a fellow by the name of Kenneth Corby, who's celebrating his 65th birthday. I could pay your age out there? 65th birthday this week. And I remember us telling him one year, this song is one of the greatest songs ever written in Calypso. He's laughed about that up to today. I tell him they're one of the greatest songs they ever make, and he's laughed about that up to today. Imagine the coincidence that I tell this man this as a child, and my current gone, and I get a man to come and fix the thing, and the man who come and fix the thing is the writer of this song.
My uncle Sonny never ceased to practicing African tradition. Tell yourself it's true Indian. Stop eating bread, he eating roti. Doesn't wear no jeans, he wearing dhoti. Throw away he hat and put on a turban, and he showing off with the Indian woman at an Indian wedding. If you see Uncle dancing, when the salsa hit him, he shouting, Golo, aha, Golo, eh, Golo, Golo, Golo. He's singing, Golo, aha, Golo, eh, Golo, Golo, Golo.
So imagine that I get a chance to meet one of my favorite, the composers of one of my favorite songs from childhood. I would tell Kenny this. Ask him when you see him. Also, sit down there singing Zandoli, one of my favorite songwriters of all time. Zandoli, the great Zandoli, because Mr. Cyrus know all them Zandoli. From beginning to end, from cover to cover, he knows Zandoli. And we get to sit down there and play some Kaiso with me, Casey Jade, and my boy Thatcher. You know what I mean? There's that great, out of sorrow, plenty joy come. And as I'm talking about my favorite composers, right, I tell you, it's great Kenny's birthday, my daddy's birthday. Wish I got a minute to wish him a happy birthday. And he is also, coincidentally, one of my favorite composers. One of my favorite songwriters. Start to wine. Anytime you start a song with Start to Wine, you don't have me already.
So long to dress. Jump in your sunny, pass and check quickly. Come on line with the action tight, really tight. We could be in the usual place.
Yes.
So come on down and shake your waist. Why must you be late? Girl, you know we have a date. The boss is getting on back tonight. So anywhere that telephone go, you must go with the section. If you're coming down from Mount Hollow, just come with the section. What's his fit? And you get to know woman, check for your section. If you look around and can't see your friend and them all in a section. Looking for Mike, I'm trying to find Blake. They getting on out of hand, man, they ain't making mistake. Look, they walking their body, jamming up in the party, jumping and making merry. All of them look, they were say, we come out to have a ball, so free up and play yourself. Let me see you banging low when we get in on out. Get in the section, in the street. See them cheering to the beat. Get in the section, jumping rum. The woman shaking the background. Get in the section, jumping up. Look, we whining on this spot. Get in the section, in the heat. We coming to take over the town. It's like a jamming fat water wall. Man, look how the massive having a ball. Anyway you look, from captain to cook. Well, anything's fast now, that's out. It's all about. From Toronto, New York, LA. And they come to Fred all night and all day. Oh, yeah. A section by the stage. Look them whining in a rage. Out of hand style, everyone gone. So anyway that telephone go, you must go with the section. If you're coming down from Mount Hollow, come with the section. Once it's fit and you get to know better, check for your section. If you look around and can't see your partner, all in a section. Looking for Gene, I'm trying to find Mac. They getting on out of hands up and right down in the back. Look, they're walking the body, jumping and making merry. All of them, yes, they was it. Nicing up in the party. Yes, man, we come out to have a ball, so free up and play yourself. Let me see you, jump, jump. Get in the section, in the street. Look, let's get to the beat.
section. I say wine in the section. Wine in the section. Jump in the section. Shake your rump in the section. Salute. So first song is by Helton Danzel of the great band Second Image. Written by Mr. Cyrus. Second song, Avengers, Get in Your Section. Song by Mr. Sydney. I know it's Sydney last name, no? But written by the great Ken Corby. So listen, two of my favorite songs come together at the same time. You see how life is? Talking about T&Tec, right? T&Tec, I must give them credit because I want to say bad things about them if they had take my meter. But since they didn't take my meter and they sort me out the night there, I want to say salute to T&Tec for coming through quick and helping out. And I see T&Tec starring this week too because imagine the biggest story. This is my problem when they tell me I ain't talking about enough serious issue. The biggest story in Trinidad and Tobago this week is T&Tec rescues trapped kitten. Trending. Not more important than this. T&Tec apparently, let me read from the Express here. Prince, a 7-month-old kitten who was trapped in the heat atop a 50-foot deheaded coconut tree on Bridge Street, Caroni. After pleading for hours for assistance, owner Anne-Marie Rembrandt told the Express that the commission had visited a home in Bridge Street, Caroni with a truck and a bucket lift and removed the distressed kitten from on top the coconut tree. T&Tec is starring. T&Tec is doing a great job. Imagine T&Tec come here, call out Mr. Cyrus to play Golo, fix my light, and then head and take down a kitten off a tree for Miss, what's your name again, miss? What's your name? Miss Barrett? What the hell the woman's name is? I can't remember the woman's name. No. But salute to T&Tec. T&Tec is working hard now. Maybe it's a TV thing for me, right? It might be a TV thing for me. But every time I see these kind of situations on TV in the States, who did this call? I don't want to say the name of the people they call because I only know these things from Sesame Street. And when a cat stuck in a tree, they call the fire services, right? It's called the fire brigade. Whatever they call them in the States, right? The firemen, that is who take down cat from tree. Kitten from tree, right? But here, T&Tec is doing our work. So, me and no other, a man like me and the greatest animal lover I ever had, because my first thought was, well, why ain't just shake the tree? Why ain't just shake the tree? Cat have 9 life. Just shake the tree. It's a kitten. How much life he lost already? He must have at least 1 or 2 left. Shake the tree. But maybe they try that. But T&Tec, salute to T&Tec for coming out and make me wonder, like, how come the fire services didn't come out and sort out this kitten? I'm choosing my words wisely. And I want to let you know, right, that before I go any further, as this is the main topic, I've lined up a fine selection of songs about cats, right? I want to let you use the right terminology and the right words. There's no Y in the word cat, right? Trinidad and Tobago, there's no Y in the word cat. I've lined up a fine selection of songs about cats. Some of my favorites, right? But I kind of end up finding out, should I go with a favorite before I tell you? But I kind of find out why they didn't call the fire brigade. I find out why they didn't call the fire brigade. But I want me to give you one of the better songs about cats. Before we get into it, I want to choose my words very, very carefully because when you put some people in charge, when you put some of these people in charge of the thing, right? They do it in a rough kind of way, So I want to be very, very careful and mindful and respectful about how I play these songs. But would you like to hear my opening song about cats?
Question they asked me. What a nice little pussy. I know we look so lovely. And everybody in the city, I have them going crazy. I'm gonna put somebody in jail if they touch my pussycat tail. They go spend their last penny if they play with my little pussy.
Calypso Rose say so, right? Didn't say so. I tell you, songs about cats is a fine selection. the songs about cats, and it might be one of the most popular topics in calypso. When you look at it, I could only play a verse and come in and out. But I found the reason why T&Tec had to show up for this job, because apparently they called the fire services, and the fire services had a ladder shortage. I want to read for you from Anna Ramdas here real quick, right? Anna Ramdas from the Daily Express say, the case of $1 million unusable ladders has taken another twist as documents show that a test was conducted on the ladders, following which they were supposed to be returned to the manufacturer. If you wasn't following this story, somewhere before Christmas, I believe, I was talking about this situation with the fire service apparently ordered a million ladders that add up to about $1 million. $1 million for the, if I want to say, was it 6 ladders or something like that? My count was 20 wooden ladders, right? 20 wooden ladders. And apparently these ladders can work on the fire truck. So the ladders really is ladders that will extend from the fire truck, right? So to read on, further documents show that Chief Fire Officer Arnold Bristow signed off and approved the 20 wooden ladders in 2019 as Brigade's engineer. In response to questions from the Express yesterday, Bristow stated via WhatsApp that he was on vacation. Number 1 while it is still number 4. He added, the matter is being addressed by the Integrity Commissioner at this time. One thing I can assure you is I did not purchase any ladders. I was not the Chief Fire Officer at the time. The Express reported on Monday that the Integrity Commissioner and Auditor General's Office have launched probes into the purchase of 20 wooden ladders for $999,000 for the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, which initially could not be used as they were unfit. They were unable to fit on the fire trucks, right? Anybody here ever work on a tender? Not a fire tender, right? A business tender, like a RFP, like you have to follow the documents. These things will be pretty detailed. No, where's Ryan Ramchandani? Can Ryan Ramchandani help me with this topic? Ryan Ramchandani is a friend of mine who might have some experience doing tenders for people like the fire service and things. Maybe doing tenders for tenders. You figure that out, right? Adjustments to the fire trucks gantry through welding enabled the use of a few of the ladders after this was discovered. In October 2023, the Express reported exclusively on the controversy with President of the Fire Services Association, Leo Ramkisoon, disclosing the ladders were unusable and demanded a probe. The ladders were purchased from Amalgamated Security, and information about the ladders' cost and supply were only disclosed after businessman and activist and Crocro enemy Inshan Ishmael had filed a Freedom of Information request asking for information. The Integrity Commission, by letter dated February 23, 2024, called on Bristol to provide all the information pertaining to the ladders in 40 days. I have some things to talk about unions in this episode, right? And, you know, this is one of the things where, as a capitalist, I like business and I like to see people take an idea, turn it into a business and mind the family for generations, right? That's me. So sometimes my stance might seem a little bit like, well, you know, sometimes these unions put so much pressure on business. I wonder if they really want businesses to succeed. But these are the areas where you can't vex with unions at all, you know, because when I asking for increases, now I want you to understand that what a union is do, a trade union, the 1% or the 4% or whatever, the 002 or however they say the negotiation for more salaries, right? That tends to be one that is getting national coverage and big news. So it seems like all the unions do is talk about people's salaries. But I want you to understand that the unions have a much bigger role than just the salary, right? A big part of what the union does has to do with working conditions and so on. Like, I remember working in TSTT at one time. I'm a young fella. I must be, when I say young, I mean young. I started work at probably 18. And that would have been late. I would have worked plenty summer jobs and internships before that in TSTT. But at about 18, 19, I was working in a place that used to do packaging the envelopes with the bills, right? And I want you to appreciate that once you had give me my little kakada when the month come, I did not care about the working conditions, right? At 18 years old, pay me. Just make sure my money running on time, and I don't care. I don't care if the chair ergonomic. I don't care if the working situation safe. I don't care about the lighting. I don't care about the noise level. I just want to work. I don't care about the amount of hours they make me work. If they'd make me work extra hours for half the hourly rate, I would have do it, right? You have to understand youth, right? The reality is that unions there to protect people like me from myself, because that is not a good thing. The very things that you do in your young days is why you get up at 44 ripe years. You understand? I just want to say there's a big difference between 44 and 43, right? But when you start to get back pain here and your wrist hurting from this because you was using one of them old long time keyboard, or your ears, you can't hear in one of your ears because you're standing next to this machine, clack, 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 making noise all the time, and or you're inhaling what they call it thing like paper, sawdust, filings, and you're inhaling that and you end up with some kind of lung condition where you're playing football now and you can't breathe for more than 5 minutes at a time. Then you start to understand why the union important, because a youth is a danger to himself, right? I want to say that when you're young, he's very much a danger to your old self, unless you get the guidance, right? So the unions have a big role to play, because I remember the union coming in at that time and saying our working environment was unsafe. We get a little hazard pay too. I like that part. But they give you some overcoats now because it used to mess up your clothes. We had to get a uniform allowance. They give us like sound dampening headphones so that we're not taking that sort of noise every single day. And you know what I mean? The unions make the working environment better, and they help us as employees who might be able to see the bigger picture as a youth, for instance, who don't even understand what the bigger picture is, to get better working conditions, not just pay. And this is the kind of things that get the unions upset, because when you're telling me you can't do this and you can't do that, where pay concerned, right? Those is usually very, very big figures, right? You're talking about, in some cases, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to get 4 or 5% increase across the board and then have back pay for how much years is a big bill. But when I telling you, listen, the working conditions bad, and I have this particular employee who have a back problem and they need an ergonomic chair, and that chair costing $12,500. That's something like a big amount for a chair. And then the management pushing back against this, and they had the woman she thing, and she can't come to work, and she have back pain. When they're fighting them kind of issues for $12,500, and the union come and see this thing where you order $999,000, what a worthless ladder. The union must make a big story out of this and get upset, because a big part of the issue is that if you two separate things, right? If you run the business efficiently and you eliminate corruption from the business, that $12,500 is a drop in the bucket for what an employee doing for you over the lifetime, and what it does to protect that employee so that they could live a good, ripe old age where you could play football for more than 5 minutes without feeling like you're going to pass out, right? So it's an important role, but it just come back down to the fact that no ladders wasn't available. Maybe they call the fire service and they say, boy, are some wooden ladders, so we wouldn't come. You know what I mean? Sorry to tell, but call somebody else. Call Flo, call Digicel. All of them are bucket truck, and well, at least somebody respond to the call, and T&Tec was out there. But again, given that the biggest story in the country, right? Anytime the biggest story in the country had to do with cats, I would like to get to a lot of cat songs, because it might have more in this episode in terms of music to play than topics to talk about, because like I tell you, I just where you Google cat songs. Don't use no other word but cat. Just Google cat songs in Kaiso and see what come up from there, because the list is unended. And I want to play a song now by the man who might be solely responsible for the most amount of cat song. I don't know if it's what the man like. I don't know if it's just, the inspiration that he gets. I don't know if the writers, sometimes a writer have a zone, you know what I mean? Like salute to Keegan Taylor and Marsha Messiah. A couple episodes ago, they was talking about boy and stick fight. It's clear that Keegan Taylor have a stick fight kind of vibe. So the songs that he write have a stick fight energy. So I don't know if one of this man writers was a man who liked cat very much, and he sent a lot of cat songs his way. See if you know him now.
From since a small I hear them say, with pussycat you mustn't play. I was never one to disobey. What? Never touch a pussy from that day.
You lie.
A pussycat always look vexed, especially the female sex. You never know what they will do next. Guess Yes, I have a pussycat complex. A pussy could be just born from the time I see him. I'm gonna afraid, pussy bite me. Hit him with a big stone, hit him on the backbone. Afraid, pussy bite me. Grandmama Jane and Uncle Steve, they taught me all I must believe. Jumpy start to walk at 6 o'clock. Rabbit foot gon' bring you good luck. Bad luck if you put hat on bed. When puppy cries, somebody dead. Really, I don't believe all of that, but I am very superstitious about cat. Let me tell you, stranger, pussycat is danger. Afraid, tell them, got to get me scissors and trim off all the whiskers. Afraid, pussycat. Tell them. Well, every cat lover in town tell me my attitude is wrong. But anytime a pussy facing me, I always get nervous and panicky. A tiger cat is dangerous, they say, but little pussy you can trust. Stroke its back and kiss it, you will find you will want it near you all the time. But boy, I'm really frightened. I wonder what will happen. Afraid, pussy bite me. Really curious, but pussy looks so furious. Afraid, pussy bite me. One more time. A friend of mine right now in jail. He was in love with pussy tail. Touch the tail and pussycat on beast. Next morning was case with the police. Another friend we call in Mose. A cat pushy tail in the nose. Even though some of them have no teeth. Just looking at them, I catch cold feet.
Me too.
But when I take a drink of whiskey, I declaring war on pussy. Afraid, pussy bite me. If you see your neighbor pussy, I want you come and show me. Afraid, pussy bite me.
Songs about cat. No, I'm not really neighbor. Now, if it's the neighbor, don't show me. I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Talking about unions, right? Headline here from The Guardian by Shaliza Mohammed says unions in uproar over SRC proposed pay hike for government officials. Now, again, the unions putting this against the backdrop of the government saying they have no money and they're having to freeze salaries over a certain amount of years and do 002, I think was one of the offers. I know teachers were supposed to get back pay. Somebody got to tell me because like I ain't seen a cent of the back pay in this house. I don't know. I thought when they get back pay, I go get paid back, but like it don't work. So you know what I mean? That might be a cat song too. You know I mean, not now to the back pay at all. Reading from The Guardian. Is it The Guardian? Yes, it's The Guardian. 4 trade unions have condemned the Salaries Review Commission's proposed salary increase for government officials. Vexatious and a slap in the face, insulting and egregious. I always spell egregious. Egregious injustice, gross disrespect and betrayal for how the trade unions describe the recommended increase for several of the country's top officials, including Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, President Christine Kangaloo, Opposition Leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and cabinet ministers. The government may accept or reject the recommendation. Now again, we just make a separation there real quick, right? Because it seems as though from the banter online, like the Instagram comments and the Facebook comments and stuff, it making it sound as if the government is increasing their pay. That don't work so, right? The Salary Review Commission is there to review salaries of the public officials and make recommendations. There's no increase that was made formally yet or implemented. This is a recommended increase. I am not sure what is the criteria the SRC is used, but I have a suggestion on what they should use. And they might get vexed with me here a little bit, but I have a suggestion on what they should use to estimate the salaries in some of the top positions, as they said here. But it's not Rowley increasing his own pay or Colm increasing his own pay while negotiating against the unions for public servants, right? It's two separate bodies. I will say, however, that the SRC is a bunch of appointees from the president, and the president is an appointee from the government. So some of them things not as separate as we might need them to be, but they are separate bodies, right? The SRC's recommendations for these new remuneration packages come 10 years after the MPs and ministers got a pay hike. We break this into pieces, right? Which means the last pay hike they would have got was in 2014. Or I don't like the word pay hike neither. The last time the salary was revised was in 2014, right? I have a partner, salute to my partner Juan, who talks a lot about working on 2014 salaries and how he's a man on the ground and he's fighting for the people and so on. It's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. French Creoles talking about men on the ground and so on. But the last pay hike was in March 2014. Why the same pay hike? Okay, March 2014 from the November 2013 recommendation on the SRC's 98 report. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's salary will see a huge hike once the recommendation of the Salaries Review Commission once it's accepted. Rowley's salary will increase from $59,680 to $80,000 a month. The SRC, however, removed the duty allowance formerly received by Rowley of $8,680. So the effective increase is in the vicinity of $11,640. Rowley worked that much, sir. I understand how much only not familiar, but Rowley's entire remuneration package is subject to tax. The report recommended Christine Kangaloo pay move from $64,270 to $73,920 tax-free. The opposition leader will move from $29,590 to $47,500. So when Inshan Ishmael saying that Kamala Prasad Bisesa is the worst opposition leader we ever had, I wonder he checking how much is someone making. The pay packets for cabinet ministers will jump from 41,000. The cabinet ministers getting 41,000, but the opposition leaders get 29. Now I want to temper this against the fact that these men could have more than one position, men and women. So you could be the opposition leader. You could also be, well, let me not use her as an example, but I could be the prime minister and the minister of national security. So in other words, I could have a cabinet minister's salary of 41 plus my prime minister's salary of 59, if that is the way it's work, right? I'm assuming that it means he could pick up both salaries. Some places will do a prorated thing, right? Like if you have a job here or you take up the next job, you'll get a portion of the job. Like I remember lecturing one time, and the school I was lecturing in, the salary, the money was a little nice, you know, when it's a big class, you're looking at 100 students, so you had to work for your money. But the money a little nice. When you finish the course, you could do something with the money. And then they call me and say the class so big they had to split it in two. They were my lecture Saturday and Sunday. I say, bet. Well, me ask a question. In my mind, I double the money because double the hours. When I get the check now, the check light. It's heavy, but it's light. It's light compared to where I wanted it to be. And in economics, right, they go tell you, mankind is spent based on expected income, not actual income, right? So if you expect, because you are making decisions now based on what you will get paid in March month, and you expect to get paid March month, and what is coming after March? April and May and so on. You make your decisions based on your expected income, right? So I don't make my decision based on the expected income, which is to say I don't spend that piece of money already. So when my check, when I supposed to get double the money, but I get 1.5 the money, I in a hole now for the next half. You understand? I don't go with my tail with that. Say, just want to have a meeting with you. I saw this little check here. He said, no, sorry about that. He said, when you're doing the course and it's the same course and you're doing it twice, we pay 1.5 times the amount, not twice the amount. I didn't find it was the fairest thing. But me and them good. And by that time, I don't need that 1.5. You know what I mean? A good friend of mine said, don't count egg in fall bottom. Wait for the fall to lay. I'm not sure if there's no fall bottom is work, but we have songs about cats to come, so we will deal with that. But these salaries, there are a few things I want to talk about these salaries, right? I understand what the union is doing, but I want to assure you, especially if you're in a position where these unions negotiating on your behalf. What the unions doing here is airtime and negotiating tactics, and there's nobody in any one of these people, Michael, and he said any one of them who believe any of what they're saying here. They're saying it because it will bring a headline story. It will put light on these things, and it may put more pressure on the government or the decision makers here to move from 4% to 4.003%. It ain't gonna move far, but it will put pressure on them, make them look bad, or it will agitate their base. So if you're representing oil field might be a bad example, but if you representing public sector workers, I go get vexed when I looking to move my salary. Now I making at 12,000 here, and only gain me an increase here that could take me to 14,500. And for $2,500 again on so, but only going and give all yourself $20,000 extra and $10,000 extra and thing, and only gain all yourself more than my whole salary, and only making me think to move me my little $2,500 and pay me like back pay. So the unions will do that and simplify the issue as if everybody is simpletons, right? So they will get public support, they will put a little more pressure, and there's a negotiating tactic. I often wonder how come unions do they take the time to like genuinely educate a base, like let them understand what that is. What does back pay cost the public sector? Because I always talk here about, we don't seem to think that taxpayers' dollars are ours. We just want to deal with our net salary. So when you're making 10 and them going with 2, we don't really care what they do with the 2. We don't really see it. As a matter of fact, our goal is really to get back as much of the 2 as possible for ourselves. So if we can get back in a tax break here, or a food card, or a grant, or whatever them thing is, that is what we seem to be more interested in here. You know what I mean? So my take on it is this: if the Prime Minister of this country, I was very worried. I want to go back to Jada. Jada is not somebody I should doubt very much, because I asked him one day, I can't remember what random thing we were talking about, and I say, what the commissioner of police make, boy? That I was talking about earlier, right? And my point was really to say that she making a good enough salary to buy better wigs, right? Or to get weave, or that was the real point I was making, or to dress up nice, and you know what I mean? When you're tall, so you must have presence, you know. But Jade say all around 30 and I say, nah, Jade, no way. Because in my estimation, the commissioner of police had to be close to $100,000 a month. This is the head of the police force. There's no part of my mind that would think the commissioner of police making $30,000. This is the person who, I don't want to say responsible for crime, right? But they have a big part to play in controlling the police, who are at least responsible for responding to that crime rate that is as high as we have as a country, right? It shouldn't be that high, but it's high. So the police is the ones who we charge the responsibility of protecting and serve in this environment we're in here now. And this woman only making $31,000. Photographers in this country making more than that. Ask me how I know. That is a joke. That is craziness. This means that if she go into meeting with community leaders, right? If she have a Manning Accord or whatever it is, the Crown Plaza Accord, if she have one of them meetings now, there will be people around that table who wearing more money than she making for the year. I wonder if people understanding this or willing to accept and appreciate it. Forget about what your salary is and how much money you're making and how much money you find you should be making. You should be making an unlimited amount of money, right? You should be happy. And I see a video online the other day, a YouTube channel. I wish I could remember the name to tell you. My memory is so bad and my preparation is so poor. But I am saying the video he was looking at in Federation Park in Sinclair area there. A street named Prada Street, a house that I admire, and the Sandy house was owned by Richard Hazard, the person who owned Westmall and so on. And he was just saying that basically, look how smooth these roads are, look how much signage and things. He said this is how the whole country should be. I agree with him 100% on everything he said in the video, except when he say you and me could never afford to live here. I don't like them kind of talk. What do you mean, so we could never afford it, and nothing we could do in this life to get to afford to live there? Why not? We could achieve anything that anybody else could achieve. What's stopping us from doing that? I ain't saying it's easy, but I'm saying that we could give it a run. You know what I mean? But going back to the commissioner of police, if the commissioner of police making $30,000 a month, how much is $30,000 a month over the year? Let me bring this down to brass tacks, right? 30,000 by 12, 360. I could have figured that out on my own. I could have do some quick maths in my mind. I want to tell you that if it is she meeting with these community leaders, them have on them is more than she making for a year. One of these Prada shoe is 1,000 and something US. You understand? These Amiri jeans and these Amiri shirt is thousands of US dollars for that. These chain and them were reaching these fellas and them by the knees. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars for them chain. You feel well, don't call no name. What jeweler this buy it by? You feel it easy to get one of them Zessin chain, and them men have on 2 and 3. The car that them driving to come there, she will never be able to buy the car that they driving to come there. I'm saying all this to say that you in that room, what do you walk into that room like, knowing that you are the least paid person? I don't want to, should I say peasant? Your position have a lot of power behind it, but you're in some trouble because you're dealing with people who could triple your salary for you out of their pocket. Today, no, you could walk away with that. Who could change your life? All the little problem, you study all the problem you have in home with your salary now, right? And study what will happen if you double or triple your salary. You go sell your house, you go move, go somewhere else. You understand? So, when you're walking into that room, you're walking into that room intimidated. You're walking into that room envious. You're walking into that room looking for a deal, like, hey, what all they could do for me? Or you're walking into that room with the integrity that holds the position and make sure that you do what needs to be done. Or going back to the Crown Plaza, all you mean to tell me Manning was the poorest man in Crown Plaza when he had that meeting? His hardship Manning was seeing walking into that meeting. Have the Prime Minister making what it is 50 somebody now? What Manning was making 20 something, 30 something, and them kind of figures? That not cutting it. And I know sometimes these figures could sound real big compared to, if you want to look at public servant salary or entry-level salaries in any industry, but the men in oil and gas making more than this. Ask me how I know. You understand? They have oil and gas men in this podcast who, if they get 30 now, they're leaving that work and go and work somewhere else fast. So the Chief Justice making $50,000 a month. I hoping I'm not songing too far removed from the grong. I want to song like a grongs man, like my partner one, right? But I hope all understanding what I'm saying. 50,000. That's a recipe for danger. Your Prime Minister making what is it, $59,000, and then you had to go and sit down around a table with the biggest oil companies in the world. Who making multiples of that. I am not saying that it will make us automatically corrupt or make us sign raw deals or not understand, but I'm not saying that, right? Because it's not the Prime Minister not sitting down there by himself. You have technocrats and you have a big team behind him. I'm just saying that honest men blinking is a real thing in this world, right? Let me start there. An honest man could blink, right? And look the other way and these kind of things. Let me not pretend that if me and you was in that position, we might not have enough issues that cause us to say, okay, this amount makes a big difference to my life. When in fact, the people who you're talking to and the figures that you're discussing, there's a drop in the bucket for them. You know what I mean? Rumors have it that bags of cash have been handed out in this country for a long time. Paper bag with a cash, duffel bag with a cash and them kind of thing. And now watching over Ozarks for like the 100th time. And you're seeing how corruptible government officials could be. Just on TV, of course, that's not real life, but just on TV. But I'm feeling like if you have a salary, and my suggestion to the Salary Review Commission is to start by understanding what are the leaders of the biggest corporations making in this country. So look, my boy Edmundo, you tell me that Singapore does this. They use an index that is based on what the C-suite earns for all the private companies, the biggest companies in the country, biggest companies operating in the country, not necessarily local companies, right? So it would mean in this country that oil and gas is one of the bigger salaries that you could earn. So if I start by looking at what the CEO of a Shell Trinidad or a BP TT or who else we have here? Who's the other big boys? If I look at CEO level there and I say, okay, the prime minister's salary must be a factor of that. I'm not saying you had to match that and everything that happened there. You had to do exactly that. But if you take a amalgamation of the biggest companies, we good at oil and gas, we good at food and beverage manufacturing and the light manufacturing and the service sector, right? I think that's our biggest sectors. If you take the big boys there, top guys, and you look at what them is get housing allowance, food allowance, travel allowance, whatever it is, plus their salary, plus bonuses, whatever, you take that and you start to use. So if you say, all right, we must always stay at 85% of where their men is, or what we could afford, 95, or we could afford 65, so that when they move, we move too, because this is grossly below where it needs to be. I would think for the prime minister, the rough figures, and I was in a group chat discussing the other day, was 250. That's the national coach. Listen, national coach making more than these men. Ask me how I know. This not right. This puts us in a very precarious situation. Number one, if we continue to do this, and this is why we probably where we are now, or one of the reasons why we are where we are now, because it's attracting the wrong people. So people will go into this knowing that his salary ain't cutting it. And box drain got to fill the gap, right? You make of that what you will. The other thing that will happen is the public sector will only attract people beyond the ones who are looking for the box drains who are past a certain age and stage in the career. Because let me say, let me use my have a little brother, right, who's about 20 little bit, right? And fellas on them young and they're bright and they're enterprising and they're energetic. And the whole world belong to them fellas. Anything they put in mind to do, they could achieve. They're young and they're healthy and they're strong and they're go-getters. He study abroad. He do a lot. You know what I mean? He would have life goals for himself. He might want to start a family. He want to buy a house. He want to invest, as all of us would have wanted to do, right? If he looking at a career path now, like how am I going to earn my money to allow me to live the lifestyle I want and secure the future that I'm looking forward to? He have options. He could say, well, all right, well, he could work with us in a company here. He could go and work in the oil and gas. He could travel and work. He could do different things. Unfortunately, the salaries in the public sector now and in the politics, not attractive enough for him to earn what he needs to earn to be able to live the lifestyle, get to the family, get to the security of the future and so on, and buy land and whatever things he want to accomplish, right? So I'm just saying this because I don't expect a 25-year-old, 27-year-old man to just become prime minister of the country just like that. But suppose he want to contribute in his area and become a councillor. If it is our MP, what would they say an MP earning here? Is Kamala earning 29? Sorry for Kamala. But if an MP earning 40, what do you think a councillor earning? How much a councillor getting? A man in the corporation. So if you want to make a difference at that level, what you have to go and do now? Work for 5,000 or 6,000 or 10,000 or whatsoever it is. When your prospects for your career, because of how much you study and how much you invest in yourself already, his prospects put him in a position where he could probably earn 50 and he probably earn more than that abroad already. So he can't go now and say, well, I go hold a 5, a 7.5 and contribute, unless your parents independently wealthy and you have inheritance to get and you could meet your goals. See, as I talk, the man calling, and you could meet your goals as an aside, right? If you make it like this, what will happen is people like him who are young and strong and healthy, or people like me and you who was once young and strong and healthy and could move and shake, we will seek our salaries elsewhere and make our money somewhere else. And then when we reach about 50, when we have something secure, 55 or 65 or however long it takes to secure it, when we reach there, then we will say, all right, time for we to give back and time for we to contribute to society. And then you go have a whole society of Ken Gordons who working at 95 years old and now trying to give back in the public sector. Or you have a parliament where the average age is 153 years old because the salaries, these salaries ain't good at all. They're not good at all. I don't know what, again. So you're firstly, attracting the wrong group of people. Second, it's going to be hard to attract youths to come into the system because that means if he go in as a councillor and start getting into the politics from very young, and he could make his financial goals there, by the time he reached 35, he have 10 years experience in the politics and so on, and you're looking at somebody who running at the highest level, at the ministerial level, at the prime ministerial level, opposition leader level, and so on, who could earn. Use the Chief Justice as an example. I wonder if all you know a lawyer. All you know any lawyers? Always watch where they drive and where they live and how they eat and how often they travel and all you know any of them. When the Chief Justice making $50,000 a month, he could only do that job after he make his money and retire. That retirement work now. Because $50,000 a month is a huge downgrade to what a lawyer or I don't even know if to say a sitting judge, because now I'm not sure if the Chief Justice making $50,000, what are judges make? The lawyers making more than $50,000 a month come in and go and ask me how I know. Pilots in the Pilot Association working on the nautical pilot, them men making more than that. Ask me how I know. These figures very, very skewed and they're not a good reflection of what society of where society is and how society earns and how society lives. And once them figures is the way they are, once you have a commissioner of police who earning $30,000 a month and we making our fuss, let me see, somebody had sent me the list, let me see where it is. She making 31, we making our fuss to move her to 39. Speaker of the House, what to deal with every week, 29, under 30. So making our fuss to move to 42. 30,000 for the Senate President. They're making a fuss to go to 39. Non-cabinet members, 33. Can't get to 39. Cabinet members, 41 to 47. MPs, 17,000 to 20,000. Listen, people who work in supervisory level and middle management in the financial institutions making more than MPs. I want you to compare for me. What is the consequences of both jobs? What is the significance of both jobs? Which job you could do home quietly and nobody don't know who is you versus the one that everybody know who you are? What is the level of pressure in them jobs? There are men in financial institutions at basic levels earning more than an MP. I ask me how I know, right? But again, me come here to rant on. Me come here to go on too long. I's a man really and truly just come here to play songs about cats, right? I don't want to think they get too serious. I don't ever want it to get too serious. I just want to come and play my little cat song on them. And this song by the man who has the most cat songs of all time. It might be a suggestion for what you really want these politicians and them to do.
More broken than a louse. If there are nothing left for me to burn in the house, my girlfriend have a pussy cat they call Big Fat Lazy. So I tell she to sell it, get some cash cause he ain't no use. If you hear me sell the pussy and bring all the cash to me, I love you baby, but I can't remain hungry. This starvation, it could finish just like that, but you got to sell it, pussy, cat. She complaining, oh she have this cat and she born. Sell it, she won't even put it in pawn. But before I have to choke and rob and perhaps end up in jail, let me tell me friends that you have your pussy for sale. Sell the pussy and bring all the cash to me. Love you baby, but I can't remain hungry. This starvation got to finish just like that, but you got to sell the pussy, cat. Unemployment is what really have me so broke. You could help out if you sell till I start to work. And I promise you won't have to sell for more than a year or two. By then I should have enough cash to buy 3 pussy for you. As they sell the pussy and bring all the cash to me. Love you, baby, but I can't remain hungry. This starvation got to finish just like that. But you got to sell the pussy, yeah.
As far as unemployment, right? Vishana Pagu from Youth Unemployment, or the headline from the Express, says youth unemployment disproportionately higher than the national average. It's used in the country, right? When you see this is never a good sign. This is from economist Dr. Marlene Atz. The article is by Vishana Pagu, and they talk. Have some words here from economist Dr. Marlene Atz. A name you might know, right? The fear of remaining unemployed after years at university is prevalent among graduates and those waiting after graduation. And for Shamila Singh, it has unfortunately become a depressing reality. Singh earned a degree in social work from the University of the West Indies in 2019. Singh, who earned a degree in social work from the University of the West Indies in 2019, expressed feeling like she has been begging on the streets for a job since graduated. It's frustrating and a sign of helplessness. I feel as though I'm on the streets begging, not for food, but for a job. The sad part is I am still paying for my student loan. I do voluntary work for Freedom to Rise, a non-profit organization, and although I can give my time, I am not able to help financially as I would love to do, stress Singh. Now, according to the latest data available from the CSO, the unemployment rate in this country fell during the third quarter of 2023 when compared to 2022. According to the central bank stated in the latest economic bulletin for 2024, the unemployment rate measured 3.2% in the third quarter of 2023, markedly lower than the 5.4% recorded in the same period last year. The decline in the rate of unemployment in 2023 aligns with the observed strength in the domestic economic activity led by the non-energy sector. Number of persons without jobs increased by 20.8 thousand persons in it. Not too much on numbers, yes? All I understand the trend we're going with, right? Is saying that the unemployment is lower now. This information, however, does little to help Singh. I'm at the point where I want to give up. The Employers Consultative Association pointed out that the unemployment rate, according to the CSO, is particularly high among young people, standing at a rate of 9.3% as of the third quarter of 2023. They went on to break down gender and so on, right? I don't want to bore you with too much of the numbers behind it, but they were talking about, in terms of gender, the female unemployment rate measured 4.1% in the third quarter of 2023, markedly lower than the 6.2% recorded in the same period the year prior. Meanwhile, the female participation rate decreased from 47% to 48% and so on, while the male rate is increasing. So a few things I want to pull apart here, right? When you see the unemployment rate going down, but the rate of the unemployed among the young is getting higher or not going down, that's of course an issue, right? Because then you have people who join in the workforce without much options to get work. Like they don't know what's the clear career path or how they're going to get employed. And then the second part of it is you're seeing a reduction in the rate of unemployed women, so more women getting work versus males in the workforce, where you're seeing an increase in the amount of unemployed males. It's two things that I had observed over the years, right? I have lectured since I think 2010 is when I started getting old. Since 2010 I lectured, and I've never been in a class ever with more men than women. Never. I'm in a class now with 52 people, and I think they have about 5 or 6 men. That has always been the case, and that is a good representation of the numbers and the way the numbers have been for many, many years. When I start lecturing, there might have been not that big a disparity. If I had a class of 25 people, it might have 8 or 9 men, always had more women. But now what you're finding is a smaller and smaller percentage of men in the class. I wonder sometimes if we plan for these things as a society, like we take a look at it. I was talking to my partner one as well, who was in UE, and he was telling me that when I was on campus, with a bunch of good people who a lot of us remain friends up to today. But he was telling me that the young black male is missing from campus as a whole. You're not seeing them at all. You will see the girls, but the young black men, they're not on campus whatsoever. So it's a worrying sign in that what was happening with the youths or the young men who was striving for tertiary education. Because I can tell you, like, when I was in Fatima might be a bad example, right? Because you're gonna that probably skewed. But when I went to Tranquil, a good bit of the youths in Tranquil, and when we were in upper level, wait, no, I'm saying upper level. When we were in Form 6, a good bit of us were talking about tertiary education. Form 6 was a route to tertiary education. So, I mean, several of us who were in Form 6 together went on to do tertiary education. I was talking to my good partner, Sheldon Cummings. My good partner Sheldon Cummings from Tranquil the other day, and Sheldon told me he do couple degrees and a master's degree, and he's going to finish up his law degree soon. Rest in peace to my boy Marlon, who was also if you had seen the police officer who unfortunately lost his life in an altercation in Couva last week. He went Tranquil with us. He was in Form 6 with us as well. Westman James, I believe Westman is Chief Justice in Belize or something like that. I hope I have some part of that right. But all of us was in Tranquil in A-levels together, and everybody who I was there with was looking at what they're going to do at tertiary level and how they're going to improve. Melissa, we share the same birthday. She doing great things, traveling the world. I think she working in oil and gas. Roger Seeley, all of us, boy, with all these names too. But all of us were there looking forward to what happens next, like where are we going for tertiary education. So if you have less youths going into tertiary education, black youths in particular, and black men even in more isolation, I think that it tells you about where the society is now and how we got here. And it gives you a good idea of what to expect in the next 10 years. You know, I like my carrying a shame poverty and no damn excuse for crime, right? But what I used to hear a lot on Salute to Naldo and Jude, who used to do the Alternative Perspective podcast, a big part of what they used to talk about is not so much poverty and linked to poverty and crime, but linked to disparity and crime. So in other words, if you have too big a wage gap, or you have people who making good money seem to be corrupt and doing well, and you have people who, no matter how much they do the right thing, they can't see the way at all. Is really what you're doing is you're creating a tertiary level education for a criminal sector that will come up in the country over time. Unfortunately, that criminal sector will get stronger and stronger and stronger over time if we don't do something to arrest it drastically. Arresting it by getting more youths interested in bettering themselves and making them employable, and they could see the right, quote unquote, right path, getting them to their financial goals and so on, is one way, but that's going to take a long time. So that change that we're talking about in the education system, or that change in more youths being unemployed or coming out with a degree and no kind of work, that didn't happen overnight, and reversing it ain't going to happen overnight either. But it's a little bit of a worrying statistic, so I want to talk about this a little bit here, because I'm not sure what is the development plan to change this. We still have a system where, and we propagate, or we prop up a system for a long time where no matter what it is you want to study, what it contribution to national development, what industries we have here to absorb those people and to help them not just to get a job and to get pay, but to help them have an outlet to achieve their goals and to achieve what they want in life and self-actualize. You just letting people go into tertiary education systems, home and abroad, pay for it out of taxpayers' dollars, and you just ain't care what they do. It don't seem as though there was any national policy that says, okay, what we want next year is a proper industry in, let's say we want to do garment manufacturing. I was just reading something that said that garment industries are one of these things that you could look at as to how developing nations or how cities or communities develop in developing countries. So when you do garment manufacturing, it employs particularly women. A lot of women still get employed. They learn a new skill, they start actualizing, it could help their families, and the communities grow around these garment factories. The fellow was talking about in places like Thailand and China and now South Africa and so on. So let's assume you want to do garment manufacturing. then is it that we have as a UTT and a UE that say, okay, I will incentivize you further if you get into things like design and merchandising or textiles or whatever the degrees are. It seems as though we just don't have a plan. We don't have a plan for where we want to be as a country, and then what will be the human capital that we need to take us there. So we put in youth in a position to win. We put youth in a position where we just basically tell them, if you get a degree, you'll be all right. You know what I mean? If you'll be fine. You get a degree, you're going to do better. And you're going to... But again, when you do that degree in social work and the government is your largest employer in the country and we're not doing more to develop the social work arm of the government, the pay ain't great. You know what I mean? What does it create for youths to go in there? And then if that's the case, why not direct youths away from there and start doing some counseling at a national level to tell them, okay, these are the degrees that we're going to pay for. These you got to pay for out of your own pocket. And we're telling you one time, listen, if you take a loan to do this thing, the social sector is small here. So you got to go Canada and we help you to, you know, if you're not helping youths fulfill their dreams, we're having a major issue. But again, not what I'm here for. Not what I am here for. Just food for thought, right? Food for thought. Again, the biggest story in the country, because all this went under the radar. You know, nobody ain't saying nothing about youth unemployment, but cat in a tree. So why not come here and find for you the greatest set of Cats songs that they ever had. They have one in particular that I like a lot by an artist that I also like a lot. And I want to play that for you now. This is a man by the name of Blakey. All you know Blakey?
Let's go, Blakey.
Got the hole up in Sandy Brandy. You can't go and leave it at all. That pussy cat does make you ball. It's one way to get a relief. So they plan one night to capture the thief. I'll be crawling by my neighbor's son. And the boys to push the cat start to run. They're running in. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. Did you see him? Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. Pussy running. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. The first time nobody did know is a pussy can even so. So they sent down to the CID. Boris, my man, and his Ramsody. Well, the policemen then tell them flat, it's not a human friend, it's a cat. They couldn't believe the police was right until they jammed the pussy that night. They run in. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. If you see it, holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. She running. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy. One by me later. Like if you see people run out the house with knife and bull whistle, a fella they call him giveaway, have a bad road just like Matty Bay. He say Blakey long time a planning, for whenever I catch him, even vex till I get red. If I hold the pussy tonight, then you're running it. Holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. If you see it, holy hold it, pussy, hold it, pussy, hold it, pussy cat. Pussy running. Hold it, pussy, hold it, pussy cat. Hold it, pussy, hold it, pussy, hold it. Relate about me. La de la 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 de la 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 la. Night was big confusion, men with big stick all in the junction. My neighbor Ivy start to cuss. Why all you men so advantageous? Go down them big wood and go back home. The cow too big is one cat alone. The girl so vexed, man, she's out of mind. Only sorry that pussy in my holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. You see him, holy pussy, holy pussy, holy pussy cat. Pussy running, holy pussy, holy. Oh, holy pussy cat. What is that? Holy pussy, holy. What is that?
Boy, so the great Blicky boy. Hard to beat. I wanna talk to you about, and again, I'm probably gonna name a segment of this podcast the Michael Mondezie segment, right? All you know about love affair with this fella, right? And he had an article here that I wanted to highlight real quick. A little bit of carnival again, right? Although I know we out to the carnival, but the name of the headlines is Perfect 10. Leon Smooth Edwards making Panorama history. I want to highlight that real quick. Leon Smooth Edwards created history at the National Panorama Finals on February 10th. Smooth won an all-time leading 10th large conventional bands title when his Massey Trinidad All-Stars tied with BP Renegades for the 2024 Panorama title at the Queen's Park Savannah in Port of Spain. The win put the legendary Trinidad All-Stars arranger in a class by himself and one title clear of the late iconic BP Renegades star arranger Jit Samurai, you know him? You know Jit? It was All-Stars' 11th overall win, having won their only other title with Rudy Wells' arrangement of the late maestro Kitchener's Panorama in 1973. Only Desperados with 12 titles and Renegades with 13 now have won more than All-Stars. Smooth, however, humbly shied away from the individual plaudits when the Kitchery pointed out the remarkable feat on Friday, and instead said that the band itself securing the 11th title triumphs his individual accomplishments. Quoted as saying, "I think the significance is more for the band than myself. I've been a member of the band since 1968, and it was always our members' ambition to be number one. We strive, we work hard, and we burn the midnight oil to make sure the band could still carry on today. So many other bands didn't make it this far." All-Stars in his heart. Now 72, Smooth lives, breathes, and bleeds Trinidad All-Stars. He joined the band while attending Queen's Royal College as a 16-year-old. Back then, Smooth says leadership was the furthest thing from his mind, as just playing on the All-Stars tenor front line was an honor enough. "I just joined to play, to be a member. I never knew I would be in leadership. In those days, there was a certain satisfaction you get from just playing. I can't quite explain it. It was as though it was a calling. Everything else went out the window when you played. You was just happy. There's a joy that comes from playing the pan every Trinidad and Tobago national should get to feel. I don't know if it has to do with the instrument being born in Trinidad, but coming up from the early days, well, from a lower class family without a piano in the household, you had access to a pan, and you could fully utilize it. In the late 60s, Smooth found Trinidad All-Stars a disciplined bunch of panists. He recalled the band leader, Police Sergeant Jerry Gemot, running a very tight ship. Smooth said he followed that example when he took the helm in 75. Let's say from the first day, it was the band ambition to be number one. Coming under Jerry Gemot, a old sergeant from the police band, he put that sting in us. When the other bands was sleeping, we was laboring, trying to perfect our craft. Is that same attitude I bring to the arrangements, leaving no stone unturned during preparations? It's important because you don't want the standard of the band to fall, not under my watch. Listen, He went on to talk about being your own critic and being meticulous in his approach and so on. But there was a particular part of this that I want to highlight. And again, congratulations to All Stars. Congratulations to Smooth. I mean, that's an amazing accomplishment. To pass the names of Jit Samaru will go down in history. And to put your name was done well in history, right? But to solidify it and have the most Panorama wins as our arranger is our accomplishment and our feat on its own. But leader he is, because I love this part where he talks about every Trinidadian should play pan and feel what that feel like, and he talks about not being able to explain it, right? And saying that is like it's a calling. This thing is from here and it's of us. And this is why we're trying to be talking about when people saying this argument still going on about who go copy Trinidad Carnival and nobody ain't gonna come back for Carnival and the Carnival go be dead and the price is too high, and it's just a cycle. The copying of Carnival, as I said a few episodes ago, is really just the commercial aspects of Carnival. It's business people who copying a business. Is Starbucks making money in the States, so somebody wants to bring a Starbucks down here. I think we have a franchising model that could rival the Starbucks and McDonald's and KFC of this world, and we're not looking at that. We have songs and fetes and mass bands and things that people franchising and taking around the world. It's the only genre of music where when you have a hit song, it guaranteed to last a year, because we have a Carnival on tour until it reach back here next year, January. And I think we underestimate that sometimes, and we're so frightened to lose it that we're not willing to let go at all, and stifling it more likely to kill it than letting it go. You know what I mean? Don't worry about people who throw in fete in Jamaica and flight price to go to Jamaica and think. Focus on what we have here and the elements that we have here that, as Smooth say, we can't explain. It's something inside of we that we can't explain, and that's why people will pay to come here and see the thing here for themselves. People go to the Louvre not just to see the paintings themselves, but to be a part of the experience that the Louvre gives. The things in the Louvre is go on tour. Them things could be in other museums and other places in the world, but the Louvre still had the longest lines in the hot sun and the highest prices for things to stay. People go in Disney for a reason, right? People go in there for a complete and immersive experience, which Trinidad and Tobago Carnival continues to offer. And salute to both Smooth and Michael Mondezie for always staying up to date. But if you mention Kitchener, and you want to talk about a song about cat, I don't think you don't have a topic you could talk about without finding a song from Kitchener about that. I could give you one.
I thought I saw my pussycat crossing Charlotte Street. I couldn't swear whether it was the right pussy I meet. But just as I was making sure, up came a young lady. Mister, what you looking for? That pussy belong to me. It's my pussy, she said. It's my pussy, she said. It's my pussy, it's my pussy. I feed her, mind her, raise her from small. Man, take off your hand from she. Don't touch me pussy at all. I said you sound intelligent, but I wouldn't fall for that. You must show me some documents to prove this is your cat. So useless, you keep telling me that she belongs to you. Madam, you don't understand, my pussy is missing too. It's my pussy, it's my pussy. She said, it's my pussy, it's my pussy. I feed her, mind her, raise her from small. Man, take off your hand from she. Don't touch me pussy at all. Dipped into her leather bag and brought something to show. She did in fact obtain this cap 11 months ago. So if you are dissatisfied and need more proof from me, Mister, I could take you home and show you the pedigree. It's my pussy, it's my pussy. She said, it's my pussy, it's my pussy. I feed her,
off your hand from she. Don't touch me pussy at all. Well, here am I without my cat. I miss her terribly. Such a little sugar plum. She always slept with me. Well, what will be my position when there is rain and storm? I don't know what I gonna do. No pussy to keep me warm. Here's my pussy. Here's my pussy. Here's my pussy. Here's my pussy. I feed her, mind her, raise her from small. Man, take off your hand from she.
Don't touch me pussy at all. Cats, right? Say the right way. Say the right way. Don't call it by no next name. Salute to the young soca warriors. Young soca warriors doing that thing all year. We looking good, you know. We looking good. The World Cup looking promising because Angus doing that thing up so. And the youths and them doing that thing too. So they had some under 20 games in the stadium recently. First game was against St. Vincent. Well, they played the fool with St. Vincent, but it come and it ended up 3-2. I like that. Salute. The coach come and say after after the 3-2 win, the coach say, hey, what's going on? Maybe we shouldn't invite no crowd to come here because we're glad we had about, I think about they say about 3,000-4,000 people came out in the night. And he say, hey, what's going on? Maybe we shouldn't let nobody come because when them fellas practicing whole week, the ball on the ground and the football flowing, all of a sudden it's a crowd is only long ball. But we salvage the 3-2. We come and we deal with Dominica 5-0, like the coach had a talking to with them, and we give Dominica 5-0. So now we're in a situation where because Canada win their first 2 games too, they're on 6 points, we on 6 points, but they have a much bigger goal difference. So if we draw with Canada, well, of course, if we lost to Canada, we out. We only the top team qualifying. And if we draw with Canada, we also out on goal difference. So we need to go in and beat Canada now. I think Brian Haynes, the coach, was saying that we needed to beat Dominica 11-0. So that it's not a must-win fixture against Canada in the end. Salute to Lasana Lightbird and YD68 for always keeping me up to date on these games. So I'm reading from Ishmael. No, that's not Ishmael Salandi. Who write this? Somebody in the Express write this, right? The Trinidad and Tobago under 20 men's football team will be going hard for a win against their Canadian counterparts in the Group D qualifying series fixture tonight at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, with a spot in the 2024 Under-20 Championship at stake. CONCACAF Under-20 Championship. Tournament is scheduled to take place in Mexico in July. Tonight's action gets underway from 7 p.m. So that would be on Tuesday night. And we want to take a minute again to wish these boys the best, because some of these youths should be making this step up to the next level to represent Trinidad in the next World Cup. If the men and them is 18 and 19 and 20 now, you had to think that by the time we're looking at a World Cup in 2026, that man is the youths who are going to be filling out the side. So while the senior team, some people say the senior team aging a little bit, right? You're seeing some older heads in the senior team and so on. But if we get a good injection of these youths who qualify for this CONCACAF Championship tournament, playing it and even do well, and accustomed to the main stage already by the time we go in the States, we mightn't only be making the World Cup, we might be looking to win the whole damn thing. Dream big, you know what I mean? Let these youths on the ball. Hear what Smooth say. Smooth say something inside me that you can't understand. Dream big, go after where you have to go after, right? Be number one. So I looking to just qualify now. If the under 20 doing so good, when we looking to win this thing. Again out of here, I have a thing to go and do. This week is a very long week. So I'm getting out of Dodge. I could leave only with a few. I have a few I want to leave only with, because they have somebody, again, who I want to say is like the king of cats. He's the king of cats, because there's nobody who have more cat song than the great mighty Sparrow. You want to hear one?
Composing some music
A strange conversation captured my imagination. I thought I was dreaming, I thought I was going crazy. Next to where I sat, Papa Rat was questioning Mama Rat. How the pussy so fat?
No man, Sparrow. No. Sparrow, my mother and them listening. Wait. Let me try this again with Sparrow.
Nothing wrong with that, but she never saw have a pussy too. These girls and their pussies living next to me. I can't rest, I can't read, I can't sleep, I can't eat when they pussy meet. Cause all day, all night, pussy quarreling. They scratching, they biting, they screeching, they fighting. All day, all night, pussy quarreling. I get up, I set up, I fed up, they wouldn't stop. I gotta sit down on the bed with a pillow on the head and all night pussy quarreling. But this Marco shot, so ugly and fat. One morning I took him, one wood in his side. So much noise, pussy make the whole neighborhood wake. I have to run and hide, and whole day, whole night, pussy quarreling. They scratching, they screeching, they biting, they fighting. Oh yeah. Whole night, pussy quarreling. I get up, I set up, I fed up, they wouldn't stop.
One of my favorites, a little slower, but I get a slice of it. And maybe it could be, I mean, it takes some years, but it might be the first time I'm playing a Black Prince song on this. And I want to tell you, it's not the first time I had it to play. It's just that all Black Prince recordings so long, and some of them you can't really stop. But I want to get you this one because I like it a lot.
La da 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 da. Every man does have a different desire. Some love to put rank or be a world leader. Some love to become old basketball player. Doctor, magistrate, or prominent lawyer.
Yes.
Talking about me, Prince, only have one desire.
And what is that?
Since I used to run about in diaper,
Yes, so.
I know I'm going over the hill. You know I still have the will.
What?
Boy, it's just one wish I want to fulfill. Yes, to kill a cat has always been my desire. To kill a cat. Ever since I was a young fella, no big stick or no hot water. Just strength and stamina.
What?
My girlfriend tell me the thought is divine. I go only kill that cat in my mind.
And there we go, have a Black Prince thing here, you know. Don't drop asleep on me when Black Prince started playing. Black Prince is one of the greatest of all time. I have to leave you with this one because it's important. Last week I came here and I did my carnival wrap up, which I enjoy doing. I enjoy seeing the back of carnival. As much as I love to see carnival come, I like to see it go too. Let me get back to some sense of normalcy. But I want to salute to the great Chromatics and leave you with this one, the Carnival Wrap Up 2024. It ain't much to say about it because it speaks for itself.
You did it again. Bravo, bravo. Yeah, it's how they begging me for this. Clearly it's something that they miss. To the point, I see them start making their own list. Cause when it comes to demands, like I can't stay away. Or maybe it's clear as day, Savannah grass in my DNA. Some people out here really need to know their place, so they go end up on stage looking like Daniel Lovelace. All that iron that you're pumping, it don't mean that you'll impress. Best you stick to what you know, and 3 sets of bench press. Everywhere I turn, I see Trini, Catwoman, J perform. All that social media she on, I still ain't know she song. Like his marketing gone wrong, what the hell is y'all on? Paying foreign influencers to promote our art form. Some say the standard dropping, some say the music sweet. Some say it's either the road or the rum that they go beat. Now they say all fruits ripe, she open early in the market. Then Lester Peltier says only bygone in the basket. So I would George need to answer this question of mine. How you just stand at attention and jump and wave the same time? But I think I have the answer or the reason behind when students take time off of school to sing a nursery rhyme. Cause it's 2024 and they had to let me know that they want me wrap it up some more. Cause Carnival could come and it could go, still they begging for the flow. Cause they want me wrap it up some more. Somebody sing with me, wrap it up, Maddox. Somebody sing with me, wrap it up, Maddox. Somebody sing with me, wrap it up, Maddox. Somebody.
Nobody in gets paid, no. It's everybody.
Yeah, if you don't have a big tune, then it's salt from all promoters. That mean no food for you like you buy a costume in humor. When the man Warren was right, I'm really scared for the future. Pay 600 to enter and still have to bring your cooler. Best I go to Tobago Carnival and hope it's not the same. And eat some crab and dumpling dipped in oil and cocaine. Cause clearly carnivals become too much of an expense. Warm to the rest of residents if Karen have to jump the fence. See all things will come to light, what was once in the dark. So let me sing about all the things leading up to Skinner Park. Marsha say he ain't taking part. Then in a weird twist of fate, I see Tuco somehow push back the registration date. It's amazing we hate fight down, yet praise nepotism. So every calypsonian ain't equal in competition. So your mother can't, your mother can't, your mother can't believe I reached the same semi-finals with the chairman of NCC. When asked about Alexander, I see Earl of Lucy's speech. Makes me wonder who out here really policing the police. I hear them saying that they rob me. It's like I get teeth in truth. So tell Tobago truck, yeah, walk back the next half of my suit. And someone tell Kaiser not, next time don't do with that. You have to buy a ticket early and make sure your bags are packed. Cause like you need a Trini girl wine to help him remember how to go down in the center. Cause it's 2024 and they had to let me know that they want me wrap it up some more. Cause Carnival could come and it could go, still they begging for the flow. Cause they want me wrap it up some more. Somebody sing with me, wrap it up, Maddox. 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 See me on Carnival, have a contract. I just hate to state the facts. Seems a culture on calypso's been placed under attack. We lost the spirit in the mass, wondering how we bring it back. When Inshan Ishmael was literally calling the kettle black. Seems that carnival's no longer accessible to the normal man. I see corporate companies buy out the whole of North Stand. Now they will put a weight limit just to play in the band. Ladies, don't worry, nobody want a body by imps, man. Cause I and all thought I knew a hot gal when I see them. But it seems they're only hot when DJ Bravo in your DM. Some say the soca mafia would have stopped and defeat him. But please ask me Tasha how the boat sleeping. Better thank you lucky stars, he catch them in a short season. Cause if it's 1 week again, Bungie that catch up and beat him. Masqueraders start complaining, these same 10 songs repeating. So I guess we understand it's soca brainwash for a reason. I ain't no time to partake in this ongoing debate about who is soca mafia and who keeping the gates. How the mass lost its essence, have nothing to spectate. Looking at other islands carnival, afraid to lose we place. But comparison's the quickest way for we to lose we soul. Or we could ask Claire Huxtable, maybe she go know. Still with all the criticism and the comments is thrown, I feel like a running tongue again, cause there's no place like home. Cause it's 2024 and they had to let me know that they want me wrap it up some more. Cause carnival could come and it could go. Still they begging for the flow, cause they want me wrap it up some more. Somebody sing with me. Wrap it up, Maddox. Somebody sing with me. Wrap it up, Maddox. Somebody sing with me.
Wrap it up, Maddox.
Somebody sing with me.
Wrap it up, Maddox. I want to tell you. Salute to every sponsor, right? I see the wedding driver here, you know what I mean? Salute to my guy Brent. I see Scorch. I see Island E-Tickets. I see Ojo's. I see Barcode in Tobago. Whoever else I miss, salute to all of them. Because you see what Chromatics do? It's nothing to add or minus from that, you know. Usually I want to say something about that song and thing. Matic's been doing this for a long time, and this is one of the best wrap-ups we ever hear. All of them was good, but this one in particular, all the grits in them getting me some trouble here, they cutting grass. But that wrap-up, so clean. Everybody get touched. All after Carnival Room get touched. Everybody get touched. I just want to say salute. And the man touch himself too. Pause. You know what I mean? Pause. But the flip-flop suit thing. I wonder if he see that backstage and he feels sick, or when he done perform, he see that man come on and that when he watching Skinner Park after that. He couldn't believe a man dress up in a mirror suit. And they flip the side and thing perfectly to it. It was perfect. So salute to Matix for that and everybody who play a part in making that happen. I go talk to all in next week. Have a good week, safe, productive, and I'll see you all in next week.